time. DRS zone, when it becomes available, just the one, and it's been extended this year on the run down to the Tamburello chicane, where we go now for action from last year's race. Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas. Bottas with debris after he ran over a piece of the Ferrari, was passed by Verstappen. Verstappen second. Schumacher against Alonso in 2005, this round the outside of Tosa at turn 7. Alonso fended off Michael Schumacher. A year later, it was the reverse. And here's Piratella from last year's race. Daniel Kvyat on his way to 4th place, almost collected Charles Leclerc. Did pick up overtake of the day for that particular move. Here are the dry tyres then. The C4, the C3 and the C2 as ever. Red is soft, medium is yellow and hard is white. But look at those wet weather and intermediate tyres. We're going to need those to start this race. Here's the grid then for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton on pole for the first time ever at Imola. Sergio Perez for the first time ever in his career starts on the front row. Max Verstappen and the other Red Bull behind him has never finished in the top 4 in Italy. He's got Charles Leclerc for company. 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th on the grid, exactly as they were in Bahrain. Pierre Gasly's 5th, Ricciardo's 6th and Lando Norris is 7th. Valtteri Bottas, disappointing day for him yesterday, starts 8th in the second Mercedes ahead of Esteban Ocon and Lance Stroll in 10th place. He starts 10th for the 3rd time in 4 races. Carlos Sainz is 11th for Ferrari ahead of George Russell, 12th for Williams. Sebastian Vettel 13th and Nicholas Latifi, a career best start in 14th. He's got 3 world champions around him. Vettel and then behind Alonso and Raikkonen 15th and 16th. Alonso's already been into the barrier at Tosa on his way to the grid. Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher 17th and 18th. It's Nikita Mazepin 19th and Yuki Tsunoda who crashed. As Max Verstappen now on the inside joins Hamilton in battle. It is Hamilton and Verstappen, Verstappen and Hamilton wheel to wheel going into the field of the Tamburello chicane. Hamilton is forced wide and he's lost a little bit of bodywork as well. Sergio Perez is in 3rd place at the moment, looking to make it into 2nd. The rest covered in a blanket of spray. Verstappen leads the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix from Lewis Hamilton. The 2 championship protagonists came together at the first breaking point.
That was absolutely exceptional driving there. Verstappen, the Red Bulls did get off the line, but Lewis tried to brave it out around the outside and ran out of road in these conditions, and Max is entitled to take the line.
I don't know if I've got damage. He pushed me right wide in turn 1.
This time last year it was his teammate Valtteri Bottas who ran over debris and picked up wide at Aqua Minerale, and that's a spinning Williams of Nicholas Latifi going out at Aqua Minerale. Well done, he's kept the engine running and he's not got beached in the gravel. Verstappen leads Hamilton, leads Leclerc going over the grass now. It's his teammate Sainz. Perez is 4th, Ricciardo 5th, then Gasly, Sainz, Stroll, Norris and Bottas.
Yeah, the Ferrari's really struggling to fire the tyres up, aren't they? So Gasly...
Oh, and that is Nicholas Latifi in the Williams, and he is out. As you can see, going into the barrier, and that is a pretty hefty shunt into the wall.
So he's applied the throttle coming out of Aqua Minerale, climbing the hill towards the high chicane, the Variante Alta, and obviously lit the rear axle up.
So we saw Latifi going off, he's made contact there.
Oh, that was a big impact, wasn't it?
Contact with Mazepin. So they were trying to go wheel to wheel. It's a narrow track.
Lap by Max Verstappen.
That's going to hurt, isn't it? Valtteri Bottas on lap 31, getting lapped by the race leader. Now tries to pick up a slipstream. His teammate Lewis Hamilton trying to do the same as well. 1.8 seconds the gap, but Hamilton's still got a lot of cars to try and find his way through on this lap.
And Stroll passed Bottas in that as well, in the middle of that.
It's all changes and trying to work out who's lapped, who's on the lead lap. Well, everyone has been lapped so far by the race leader, down to Valtteri Bottas, who is in 9th place. Oh, and sliding off the road goes the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton.
Oh,
and I think he might be, unless he can find reverse, and he's kept the engine running. This is absolute disaster for Lewis Hamilton.
Broken front wing anyway, of course. Unfortunately, but yeah, he needed reverse before he needed first there. I mean, these cars have got horrendously poor steering lock on them because the front tyres are so wide. The exact opposite to a London taxi, for example. And Lewis's pace had been sensational on the previous lap.
So whilst Verstappen carries out on in front, extending his advance.
Digging yourself into the gravel. And away he goes, but he's going to need, of course, a pit stop.
So you can see the damage there to the front wing. Lewis Hamilton, who has had, what, 50 consecutive points finishes, and we're going to get a safety car now, because that's Valtteri Bottas and George Russell, who are out of this race, and they look like they've had a big coming together as well.
So somebody's dropped it in the braking zone coming down the hill by the looks of it. Because the brake marker boards have all caught up in the accident. So it looks as if somebody, so both Mercedes then at the same time, and Russell was running in the World Championship points for Williams as well, but somebody's dropped it under braking.
Second year running here at Imola, George Russell running in the points and crashes out of the race. And I think that he was trying to overtake Valtteri Bottas when the two came together. He goes over to make sure Bottas is okay, and there is Fernando Alonso in the Alpine getting going as well.
Yeah, you're not, we think...
Ladies lose 3 of their drivers, don't they? Yeah. But, well, Hamilton will recover.
Right, we're just watching a replay now, Ted, on board with George Russell, who hits Bottas. Oh. Yes, because he gets onto the grass. So he's going for the overtake, gets onto the grass, gets a tank slapper, runs straight into Bottas.
You can hear the you could hear the engine revs go up. Massive impact. Once again, we're seeing the integrity of the front of the chassis extraordinarily strong and effective. And yeah, so
What a
Are you okay, Valtteri?
big one. All good.
What the was he doing? Honestly, is he a or what?
Right, well, both drivers quite clearly blaming each other. I think Valtteri might be a little bit winded by that.
Absolutely top speed there, 209.
Well, might want to have a word with both George Russell and Valtteri Bottas after this race. As Ted was pointing out, George Russell very much in the Mercedes stable. Right, and they've red flagged the race. They've red flagged the race while we watched Lewis Hamilton sliding off, and this is what caused him to damage his front wing. The race has now been red flagged.
So sorry, guys.
Yeah, no sweat.
So that they can clear the debris at what you said, Martin, the fastest part of the track.
Yeah, Lewis has just been moving up the inside of a back marker into Tosa, has locked a wheel. No ABS brakes on these cars. It's all about the driver modulation. And as soon as the wheel blocks, you've got no retardation, and then you're sort of in double trouble at that point. I would imagine they need to check the integrity of the barriers here as well,
Look
for
at the
good
damage
measure.
to the arm coat.
Yeah, we've got to check the barriers out, clear the debris away and all of the pieces of carbon. Otherwise, people are going to be picking up punctures left, right, and centre. But you know what? Lewis Hamilton was running fourth. I believe he was still running fourth on the road in all of that. So, as you said, it's by being able to pit under the safety car, it didn't hurt him too much. But where is he showing at the moment? He's showing ninth in the race.
We saw.
Oh, he's a lap down. He's a lap down. That's why. That's why it looked as if he was in quite a good position behind the safety car, but he's actually a lap down.
So when they restart the race, does Hamilton continue to be a lap down? One would assume. Oh, Max Verstappen, what's happened there? Just trying to light up his tyres somewhat on the entry into Ravazza, and a trip to the grass that wasn't part of the playbook. So,
ooh, that was a lucky one, Max.
It was, and he retains the advantage, stays out in the lead, very nearly got caught right before the end of the lap before we go racing again. And finally, after this safety car restart, after the red flag, we can go racing again, and Lando Norris is wasting no time whatsoever getting stuck into some racing. He's got past Charles Leclerc and up into second place. Verstappen leads from Norris, then comes Leclerc, Perez, Sainz and Ricciardo, and going off at the back it's Yuki Tsunoda. Tsunoda, who's made up 10 places in this race, is now going to see all that good work come to an end in the space of 600 metres down to the first corner at the restart.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get that out of the gravel, we might see another safety car. But look, Lando Norris is pretty feisty, isn't he, in second place there?
Isn't he just? Verstappen then ahead of Norris. Hamilton has managed to get past Kimi Räikkönen and is up into 8th place. Gap to Verstappen, 5 seconds. It was a lap when he went off down at Tosa, but it's now just 6 seconds as it was to Max Verstappen. Hamilton certainly gained by that red flag incident, and we can see what happened to Yuki Tsunoda.
That is one of those horrible, painful, slow spins, really. But he does get away, and the track is now clear. But he's put a lot of gravel on it, I'd imagine. They're saying it's a slippery surface down there. So I'd imagine
surface here as well,
yeah,
when Verstappen went off.
Yes.
Wow. So drama at the restart. Verstappen then leads Norris over the line, 0.8 of a second the gap. Then comes Charles Leclerc and then Sergio. Whilst the gap at the top of the Drivers' Championship will just be 1 point, the gap on track here, and remember we had to resume after a red flag, has been an awful lot wider. It's a very fine Red Bull car. It's a very fine driver at the wheel of that Red Bull car, and Verstappen and Hamilton is the battle that we are expecting to see race after race after race throughout the course of this season. In Bahrain, it was Hamilton who took the honours. Today, he's going to finish as runner-up to a man who's never won in Italy before, who DNF'd in all 3 races in Italy last year, and who wins the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix this afternoon. Max Verstappen, for the first time in his career, takes victory in Italy, and it was a victory by a long, long margin.
Just a brilliant drive, and yeah, never headed after that turn 2 and 3 with that fight with Hamilton. He made hard work of it today, but I feel ended up where he really should have, if all things had been fair.
Well, he finishes as